41. Yep. Hello, Dota 2 fans, and welcome back to some more Dota 2 coverage. I am More Rage Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, and we've got the first match of the day for the Dota Pit tournament. We've got everyone loading into the lobby here. If you joined me earlier this morning, we saw Empire take a fall in the Star Ladder Season 10 European and Russian qualifiers. They lost to Team Secret, who has absolutely been dominating that qualifier, sitting at 10-1, and they pretty much had their hopes crushed there to make the LAN finals in Kiev. So unfortunately for them, they'll look to redeem themselves in the Dota Pit tournament, where they have, of course, much hope left, as the tournament just began a couple days ago. So thank you for joining me, guys. We're going to see Nyx go up against Empire here. Nyx is the slight underdog here. Let's check out the Dota 2 Lounge odds. They are 35 actually to 65. A little more surprising. I would have thought it was around 60-40. So it's gone up in the favor of Empire a little bit. So thanks for joining me once again, guys. Just gonna have everyone load into this lobby, hopefully pretty damn soon. And if that's the case, we'll get this game started. Got another game coming for you in a few hours in the Star Ladder Season 10 qualifiers here. Just gonna check quickly who that is. That is VP Polar versus Team Secret. So Team Secret looks to continue their winning ways here. We do have everyone loading up, so that's awesome here, guys. We're gonna get this started real quick. I am your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. More rage, please. Thanks for joining me once again, and thank you for the support, guys. Just gonna check my dashboard really quick. Give me a sec. Make sure we're online, and we are. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, flame me in chat. Send me a message on Twitter at MRP_Dota. Let's see that right there. Let's throw that up. Well, maybe a little bit of a scumbag for you. Got a new mic here, so let me know if I need to turn it up or whatnot, guys. Just bought a blue snowball, so no more Logitech USB headset for you. A little bit more quality in the cast, hopefully. This is going to be sort of a guinea pig cast for everyone, and hopefully that works out well. I'll check out the VOD after and adjust accordingly. So casting from the ticket here, guys. Unfortunately, I can't draw on the ground, but eventually that is the dream. We'll see where SNA likes to go with this first ban phase. As well as Team Empire here. As you can see, Always Wanna Fly is not playing for Empire today in both Star Ladder as well as Dota Pit, so not sure exactly what's going on there. As far as I'm aware, he hasn't joined any new teams at this point, and Solo Always Wanna Fly is still the support combination for Empire here.
5 seconds remaining.
Right now, Soneko standing in for Always Wanna Fly. DP gonna be banned out by Empire. That was used against them this morning by Team Secret. S4's Death Prophet did a lot of work against them. They actually had a Medusa in their draft on the side of Empire for Silent, who played fairly well until the very last team fight when he lost his rapier. He got caught out with a Doom, and he was pretty much in the front lines, and when he dropped,
10 seconds
that sounded the GGs there. So, first ban Void coming out from IX Mike Squad, the reincarnation of Liquid, what I like to call sneaky Liquid mix assassins. But thanks for joining me again, guys. Should be some good Dota today. Two really well-matched teams. A little bit different play styles, but nonetheless, gonna look to see some really good Dota here. As I said, 65-35 is the odds in favor of Empire. If I had to choose, I would certainly pick Empire winning this game, but in terms of a value bet standpoint, 35% as SNA is really good for your money. So I wouldn't blame you if you put your rares there. Razor going to be banned out as well from Team Empire here, so they're going to take out two frontliners, two heavy team fight-oriented heroes, mid-game oriented heroes. Actually, both of these heroes. Yep, Kuroki played on the one position Razor this morning, so Empire pretty salty about that game. It seems they've banned out already two of the heroes in the 5-man lineup used this morning by Team Secret. So we'll see where Knicks want to go with this second ban in the first ban phase, and see what direction they like to take their draft with here. Looks like they're taking quite a bit of reserve time to think about this second ban, or this first ban phase, I should say. So they do ban out the Bat Rider, so taking away one of Mag's signature heroes. Certainly Bat, Claw, even Centaur to an extent recently are things that he's known to be such a player are. And they will pick up the Centaur right away for SNA, so they'll deny him that, as well as picking up the Skywrath Mage. I'm hoping to see a Resolution Brewmaster here. We saw Mag play it this morning, and not that Mag played poorly at all, but he was really shut down in the off lane. Ended up getting something like a 16-minute Blink Dagger, or even 17 on this Brewmaster, as he was shut down pretty heavily. And we all know when Brew doesn't get active early and often, he can fall off pretty heavily as the game wears on. So Skywrath Centaur, pretty damn good roaming combo here. I think we saw, I want to say LGD in game 1. Yes, LGD in game 1 versus Cloud9 yesterday in WCA using this roaming combo, and pretty much with the firepower with the Ancient Seal and the Double Edge, as well as the Concussive Shot, Arcane Bolt, and the Mystic Flare. Mystic Flare wasn't needed often with the magic damage amplification from Ancient Seal, and the Double Edge Hoof Stomp was generally enough to kill any hero on the map. So really good roaming combo there. Centaur definitely one core you want to get some farm on. Once he gets that blink, do a lot of rotation with those two heroes, and pretty much can create space for the other two cores, as well as the other support to catch up and farm. It's a very intimidating, very scary combo, something that the enemy team has to plan against. So good start to the draft here for IX Mike and his squad. It'll probably be IX Mike on the Centaur unless TC ends up picking it up in the safe lane. Generally, you'll see TC in the mid, though, with Ush on the 1 position. So sometimes they would switch up the roles here. In SNA, they're pretty flexible in that sense, but we'll see what they end up doing. Tide going to be banned out here from Team Empire, so don't want to couple that with
Team
a Centaur,
Empire's
make a very
turn to
tanky
ban.
lineup there. Don't want to fight into this Ravage. Shadow Demon going to be picked up by them. So to ensure that the Primal Split will get off, they'll have the Defensive Disruption, especially good against Mystic Flare of the Skywrath. Their durations pretty much sync up there, so you can pretty much avoid a full Mystic Flare with a Disruption.
5 seconds remaining.
Disruption lasts for 2.5 seconds, and at its highest, Mystic Flare lasts for 2.2. So actually, Disruption is a little bit longer, so you can even use it preemptively to a very small fraction of a second. Gyrocopter going to be banned out. Gyrocopter, I should say, for those of you that are going to flame me about it. By Sneaky Nick's Assassin. So SNA going to take out the Gyro, used to good effect yesterday by, I believe, one of the Chinese teams. I'm not 100% sure on that. I have to check my bet. I know for sure it was one of the teams I was going for. I'm going to take a look here quickly. Newbie did use it against Navi, if I remember correctly, yesterday.
Dire
had a
team
really
ban.
farmed how Gyrocopter. So banned out there from SNA. The Disruption into the Call Down, certainly a good combo. Call Down helping out the Brew split by slowing everyone down.
Dire
The homing
team
missile has
pick.
been pretty powerful early on and been maxed out by a lot of people building on this Gyrocopter. So interesting ban there. They'll also take out the Medusa, which they saw Silent use this morning. I feel like 682 has brought a lot of that. People haven't necessarily solidified or evolved enough to have like permanent strats or go-to strats that they run all the time. They're security
10
blankets, so to
seconds
speak.
remaining.
So we see a lot of bans that are relevant
5
to the
seconds
recent
remaining.
games that the enemy team has played. Empire banning out the Death Prophet as well as
Reserve
the
time.
Razor here that were played against them this morning. Medusa being banned out from SNA that they saw Empire play on Silent this morning, and he got a hell of a lot of farm on it, especially with the Brewmaster, who's a hero who's certainly able to
Team
create
Empire's
space
turn
and
to
create
pick.
havoc in the mid game. You definitely want to ban out that Medusa and not give them that fail-safe or insurance policy on the back end of the game. So Sand King going to be banned out here from SNA. LGD actually, Mamoya was when the Skywrath Centaur combo was up, they were also running Mamoya on the Sand King, and that was a pretty deadly
10
combo in
seconds
itself. The
remaining.
3 of them with the Ancient Seal and the long-range initiation from the Blink
5
Burrow into the
seconds
Blink
remaining.
Hoof Stomp is pretty much a kill on any hero, if not multiple heroes.
Reserve
so
time.
Sand King a really good support to couple with Skywrath there. They pick up the Undying from SNA. We've seen them run this as a core. We've seen a few teams run this as a core. So Sand King ban still comes out, and it seems that Empire are a little worried that that could possibly be a core in the tri-lane. Generally, in an aggro tri-lane is this Undying. He's very strong in the lane with the Tombstone and the Soul Rip for sustainability, as well as, of course, his Decay. So
10 seconds
we'll
remaining.
see what Empire responds with here. They grab up a Bristle, so pretty
Dire team
pretty
pick.
uncommon pick. A little bit more common in this meta, of course. The fact that a lot of these big team fight outs do no longer disable passives is a buff in a sense to Bristleback. He didn't get any direct buffs, but that's certainly an indirect buff to him to be able to keep up Bristleback while doomed or Chronosphered or anything of the sort is pretty friggin' awesome. So they'll pick up the BB. Probably
10
put him
seconds
in the
remaining.
1 position, if not in the off lane. So already we see 2 cores that are
5
definitely
seconds
space
remaining.
creators, 2 cores that are intimidating, 2 cores that want to get in your face with the Brew and the Bristleback for Empire. So
Reserve
playing
time.
perhaps a different style of Dota, or perhaps they put Mag on either the Brew or the Bristleback, and then the third hero is for Silent, and it is something they will play, kind of a 4 protect 1, a little bit of a C9 style game from yesterday at the WCA. So we'll see what they round it out with. Still very open draft from Empire. I like their picks so far. Both Brew and Bristleback can rotate between safe, off, and mid lanes. However, of course, they're stronger in some of those, in a subset of those. Definitely Brew strongest in the mid lane. Not bad in the safe lane. Pretty underwhelming in the off lane, but still, as long as he gets his levels, it can be effective. We'll pick up the Dragon Knight here for SNA, so this will
Team
probably
Empire's turn to
be a TC Dragon Knight. He's pretty damn good on the hero. Seen him play it quite a bit. I think he's comfortable with it. He's comfortable with the mid lane for sure. In that sense, we'll see IX Mike on the Centaur, and probably see Ush's hero picked up 5th for Sneaky Nick's Assassins with Fluff on the Skyrath or Undying and
Dire
Whitebeard
team
as well.
ban.
Necro going to be picked up probably as a 3rd core here for Empire, so in that sense I will expect to see Silent on this Bristleback, and one of Necro or Brewmaster in the mid for Resolution, and the same for
10
Mag
seconds
in
remaining.
the off lane. In that sense, we're going to look for a support here 5th, but we'll see if Sneaky Nick's
5
Assassins thinks this
seconds
is
remaining.
a support Necro. Of course, there's a lot of sustain coming out from the Necro with the Death Pulse, as well as Sadist to keep him
10
up,
seconds remaining.
and the lockdown he offers from his ult. So from the Reaper side,
5
so
seconds remaining.
they can run it as a support. It's not a hero I'm a huge fan of as a
Team
support.
Empire's turn to
Sneaky Nick's
ban.
Assassin's gonna ban out very intelligently, and they're gonna ban a Mirana here. So Mirana, both a hero that can run as a support, as a core, just like Necrophos is. So they ban that out to
10
just
seconds
take out a
remaining.
versatile hero, a hero that helps with this kind of lineup with the Moonlight Shadow, and
5
of course the
seconds
transition
remaining.
towards the late game, and the arrow combo with Shadow Demon. So very
Reserve
smart
time.
ban there from
5
SNA,
seconds
taking out both a
remaining.
potential support as well as a core, and someone that just couples well with their lineup. AA going to be banned out here
Dire
from Team
team
Empire,
pick.
and the Weaver going to be picked up. So Empire was
Team
expecting
Empire's
a
turn to
core
pick.
Undying here. They were wrong about that. The Undying will be relegated to support, and we will see Ush on a 1-position Weaver. So pretty friggin' sweet for them. They'll have a lot of initiation if there's a Blink or a Shadow Blade up on TC anytime soon, but they will certainly get the Blink up onto IX Mike's Centaur Warrunner at some point in the game, hopefully for their sake sooner than later.
10
So
seconds remaining.
really strong tri-lane here with the Weaver, Undying, Skyrath. Not too much
5
lockdown is
seconds
probably
remaining.
the bane of what they're able to do there and their toolkit, but they do have the concussive shot
Reserve
as well as the
time.
tombstone for pretty heavy slows to bring down anyone that they need to chase in the lane. So they're going to round out their lineup with a Dazzle here. So we will see a core Necrophos. It's actually Silent on the 1-position Necrophos, Mag in the off lane on Bristleback, and Resolution in the mid on the Brewmaster. So a lot of sustain here for this lineup, a lot of defensive abilities. It looks like we're going to see a Death Ball from Empire here. They're going to group up in their timing window in the mid game once they get the Primal Split up on the Brewmaster, as well as get some levels on the Necrophos, perhaps even the Weave on Solo's Dazzle here. So I like Empire's lineup a lot, but they're going to have a timing window, and they're not going to be able to take it too late. Bristleback definitely can scale into the late game, but Necrophos as well as Brewmaster will fall off. Necrophos does get gradually more
10
and more
seconds
tanky, but
remaining.
it doesn't mean that he's really able to fight up against a Weaver as well as a
5
Dragon Knight in the
seconds
late game. So
remaining.
SNA definitely have the late game if I had to judge the drafts here, but the mid-game window is going to be a crucial one in this game, and probably the deciding one. So we'll see if there's a 5-man rotation from either side.
Prepare for
I'll just
battle.
introduce the teams quickly. Definitely going towards the offlane is IX Mike, boots first with Tangles and a ward on the Centaur Warrunner. TC going towards the mid with 2 GG branches, rushing that bottle on his signature Dragon Knight. Fluff and stuff going towards the offlane at this point, so we may run duels here, but he may just be rotating to assist IX Mike in the early game on the Skyrath Mage, and roaming thereafter Ush on the 1-position Weaver, and his head is pretty damn ugly, but not something that can't be lethal at some point. And we will round the lineup out with Whitebeard on the Undying. So we may see an aggro try here with the Undying, or they may just
30
be
seconds
switching
to
up the
battle.
supports here. Aggro try very strong with the Hoof Stomp, stronger than the Weaver would be, and so Ush can run the safe lane here with some pretty heavy survivability, especially considering the lack of lockdown of this lineup of Empire. We'll run through them here. We're going to see Mag in the off lane, 1v1 perhaps. No, Whitebeard rotating back towards the top lane for the time being. Bristleback definitely would have had a good time there versus Weaver, but Mag in the offlane on the Bristleback. Empire Resolution
The battle
in the
begins.
mid on his Brewmaster. Saneko on the Shadow Demon. Solo on the Dazzle. And Silent on the one position Necrophos. Definitely like the Necro in a core role. I feel like he's akin to Silencer, much in the same way that they do so much better with farm, infinitely better than farm than they do without it. You'll see a nice aggressive jungle ward here from the side of SNA, as well as a lane ward from Nyx Assassins here. So we'll see how this early game goes. They're already posturing up on Mag top, Invisrune for fluff and stuff, but he'll be a little bit wary here, only seeing IX Mike in the bot lane. Whitebeard gonna put a decay stack into him and just ensure the CS of Ush for now. Probably see a pull and stack from fluff and stuff here on the next wave. IX Mike skilling return level 1, as he should, taking harass from Solo on the Dazzle and returning it in the same fashion. TC already very low mid. He's caught a clap, it seems. Only Resolution probably checked him out and saw that he only has a couple tangos on him, but both heroes doing the same build here, so bottles coming out simultaneously for them, and they'll probably have a pretty even mid matchup, both 6-0 at this point, melee versus melee. So IX Mike gonna look to secure this rune and rotate out of lane pretty early. He doesn't have a disable or double edge, so he does no damage at this point, but he'll look to secure this rune as he's not getting too much in lane at this point. Hopefully for his sake it's either a bounty rune or a haste or an invisibility, so that he can grab up some experience there. Where is Mag? Mag is sitting in the river doing the same thing, so both offlaners looking for this rune early, but Whitebeard's here with the tombstone, and he's gonna presumably, I was gonna say, feed some gold over to Resolution, but with TC rotating in and the concussive shot, they're really gonna secure this rune top. Haste goes to TC in his bottle, and the bounty looks like it went to Solo on the Dazzle bot lane.
No.
So IX Mike not getting much, just has the boots first, almost level 2 here. Bristleback a little more confident in his lane. TC probably going to put some harass here into, looks like he used the brief fire on Resolution there. But Mag will be okay to soak up experience because of the lack of lockdown, and actually Courier dies here. Radiant Courier, so not sure if it just walked up into the mid lane for TC, but that's a nice influx of gold there for SNA, and really unfortunate here for Resolution. He does have his bottle on him, so perhaps he was crowing, but it already delivered and he'll be okay in that sense. There were no supports rotating behind here as far as I saw. Fluff was in the jungle, so a little bit precarious here. That's unfortunate for them. TC will get some time in the mid as Resolution has to back up and block his wave to get some farm underneath the tower. But yeah, only 45 seconds till the rune here, so perhaps TC gets a free one with Resolution being as low as he is. He does have a tangle though, so he can contest this rune. And actually we'll see TP's in from Solo on the Dazzle to heal him up, as well as actually deliver his bottle for him, and he's got his boots as well. Solo, give him the boots, Solo. And he does. And the rune will be up in 20 seconds. A little bit of crowing going on from TC. Actually brings over his bracer and boots, excuse me, not crowing there. So Mag being zoned out, but doing well. We'll look at the hero levels here, and he's sitting at level 2, above all of the supports and just above IX Mike, who did ding his level 2 as well. Bounty Rune goes the way of Saneko. He's going to defend offensively disrupt TC there and run for his life. So yeah, that combo there definitely has some kill potential with the
Dire's bottom
double
tower
stuns
is under
as they
attack.
cliff stomp into Dragon Tail or vice versa. So Fluff gonna do some pulling here, find himself some farm. He's almost gonna ding 3. He'll ding crit 3 with this next creep, and Mag will rotate over and look to soak up some of that experience from him. 30-1 and 11 for Ush's Weaver up against the 26-10 of the Necrophos on Silent there. So but they will look to put some pressure into this tower. Glyph already used tower down to
Dire's
3/4 of
bottom
its
tower
health,
is under attack.
and the Courier will come in and bring Ush his Bassi actually it's going to bring him a Midas recipe that he did not have a slot for at the moment. So he's 150 away from his Midas. Definitely a good choice when you get a start like this. TC doing well in the mid, 28-1 up against the 23-5 of Resolution. So hindering his farm a little bit was that point where he needed to back off towards his T2. But Resolution will do just fine in this mid lane. He's sitting at 900 gold, and Mag actually finds a kill top lane. Ush does get a return kill on him. And the Ancient Seal going out on solo is going to prevent Ush from going down here as well. Good thing, because he just picked up his Midas and is able to use it. Sorry about missing that one, guys. Didn't really expect much to occur in that top lane for the moment. But they do find an Undying solo kill on the Bristleback, so that'll give him some nice experience. He's at level 3 though after dying, and IX Mike has caught up really well here in the off lane, sitting at only 2 and 1 CS, but he's level 4.5. He's got his Tranquils up, so he'll be able to sustain himself in lane here, and he grabs up a last hit from that wave here. TC looking for the rune, but Silent is here, and he can ult him right away if he wants to, but the Death Pulse does not connect, and he doesn't want to walk uphill. So not sure about that from Silent. Perhaps it was nighttime vision and he was fogged almost immediately, and that's probably what the case was there. So unfortunately for him, he misses out on a very real kill opportunity. We'll see the supports from Empire rotate over to the mid. Custom Shot going to go out onto Resolution. He's going to get healed up, and TC's Dragon Form is going to go down, unfortunately. Disruption, as well as the Primal Split here, and they're going to clean up Fluff for free. That's the first Primal Split, though, and only getting a Skyrab is not bad, but it is a very long cooldown at almost 3 minutes. So
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
they'll look to put some pressure into this mid tower, though. They'll get it down to about half health. And TC will look to nuke the wave down fairly soon. He's got 5 magic charges, so he'll be fine. We do see that for the next couple of minutes, Primal Split is down. Is a 140-second cooldown at level 1. So just over 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 20 seconds is not bad there. They do get a kill out of it, so at least they get something. Whitebeard going to run into Mag here. But he's got a point in Bristleback, so he should be fine. The Custom Shot going to go out. He's just going to TP right away. Do they have the damage? They're barely short there with the Decay as well as the Arcane Bolt. One more right click would have offered them a kill, but unfortunate for them. TC sitting at 36-1 up against the 33-7 of Resolution, sitting at level 7. And they're both just about at parity in terms of experience. IX Mike going to drag the wave back, but initiation coming here from Seneko with the disruption. Here comes the Death Pulse. He actually stands himself out, so he'll be just fine there. Could have probably used the Hoof Stomp, but worried about being ulted. Then Death Pulse and
bottom
Shadow
tower
Wave
is under
bombed,
attack.
So
Radiant's middle tower is
definitely
under
a real
attack.
possibility that he dies there. I don't mind him using a 75 to 80 second cooldown there, 90 second cooldown I should say, on Stampede. So they won't look to initiate
Dire's
soon
bottom
because he
tower
doesn't
has
have,
fallen.
Stampede. But there's a disruption out on Whitebeard mid, and they can't go on it because Resolution was brought down in the meantime. So Dragon Tail out onto Seneko. But they're just going to use this to back off as Mag does come into the lane. Bottle brought back on
Dire's bottom tower
He's
is
just going to
under
stay in this lane and ensure that his tower stays up here, which is in deny range, but not sure that they want to lose that access point just yet. I'm sure if they, yep, TC will deny it up. And
Dire's
down
middle
it
tower
goes. So
has been denied.
nice deny coming out from them, denying out some gold, but they do lose a little bit of map control, and it is the second tower down in the game. They have lost 2 already, but Empire's lineup definitely wants to snowball here, and so denying them any bit of early gold is certainly worthwhile for SNA, and certainly will be impactful. 1,300 gold as well as the Ring of Health up for Ush here, so he's still quite a ways away from winning, but doing well nonetheless, especially with his Midas up here at 9 minutes in. Decay misses. Oh, it does hit Mag there, so barely. Fluff and stuff posturing up on the bot lane, baiting out IX Mike a bit. He'll have the courier come over to him, bring him a null talisman, or at least the makings of one. Fluff's pretty poor at this point. Take a look at the net worth chart, and he is right at it as expected. So IX Mike pretty much on parity with Mag. Both mid laners doing extremely well. Resolution does have the 1 death to his name, and unfortunately for him, that is what will drop him below TC on this net worth chart. But Ush topping things off with 3 farm as well as the Midas here in the top lane, and being involved in the kill on Mag. In fact, he was the one to get it. So Ush doing really well on this Weaver. He's definitely quite the player, and he's very capable of doing some pretty dangerous things on this hero. Almost sitting at level 9, certainly is the highest in the game. Tied for the highest anyways with the solo mids, as well as the core Necrophos for SNA. We'll see some rotations over here from Resolution as well as Seneko. Resolution does have his blink up 10 minutes in, so great timing for him despite the death. 9-10 minute blink dagger is awesome. TP's in, blink, clap. No primal split because he's got the DD, but the Stampede not going to be able to get Whitebeard out. He does get cleaned up with the Reaper Sight as well as the Death Pulse, and that's going to sound the retreat here for Nyx Assassins. Nice rotations by Empire. They'll bring all 5 up to this top lane, and as I mentioned in the draft, they'll look to ball up. And no primal split committed there from Resolution, so very cost efficient from him, knowing that with that DD they're able to bring down that Undying pretty quick, and nice reactions by Silent on the Reaper side to get the Stampeded Undying before he was fogged there. So Dirge goes down, 1-0, but they'll also get a tower out of this. It looks like TC, Whitebeard, Fluff, and Ush will look to pressure this mid lane, but TP's already in from Resolution. He's got a blink clap. He doesn't clap, he just blinks in, straight into the stomp. Boulder gonna go up onto Fluff here. Seneko in trouble, but a heal bomb and a couple of right clicks will bring down Fluff and stuff. The tower will go out in the meantime, and a Dragon Tail and a Breathe Fire from TC gonna bring down Solo, as well as tick out
a snag in your timeline.
Seneko there on the Shadow Demon with Ush grabbing up the last hit there. So nice trade, 1-for-1 in towers. They lose Undying in the top, they lose Fluff in the mid, but they get 2 kills. So 2 supports going either way, as well as the tower on either side. So ends up being pretty even, but Ush and TC were the ones to get the kill, which is good for Nyx Assassins. I believe the kills top went the way of the cores as well, but there were only 4 heroes mid, and 3 getting the experience of those kills as Fluff went down really early for Nyx. So a little bit goes their way in terms of experience. We'll take a look at the graphs as they register that, and Nyx is leading 2k in experience and 1k in gold. So indicative of that little explanation there. And actually a solo kill bot, or a kill bot on the solo Mag Bristleback with this
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Seal into all the magic damage, and TC will pop Dragon Tail immediately with Stampede in, concussive shot out on Silent, but they're gonna go in the back lines and try to pick off Solo, who's Ancient Sealed up. He'll get Dragon Tail, but immediately defensively disrupted. Blink forward from Resolution, clap, and a few right clicks will finish off IX Mike here. Yes, he will. Arcane Bolt will go into him. Whitebeard will fall on the back lines, and that's a 2-for-1 in the end. Centaur and Undying for the Bristleback, and they do not get a tower out of it. So perhaps the Stampede used a little too aggressively. They tried to go save Whitebeard as well as kill off Solo, but a nice defensive disruption from Seneko there is going to stall out the fight and stifle the aggression from the Stampede from Nyx Assassins, and they will end up with 2 return kills for the Bristleback,
bottom
as well
tower
as saving
is under attack.
their dazzle
Radiant's
here.
top
So,
tower is under attack.
nice plays from them. Definitely Shadow Demon, one of the more influential heroes against this draft of Sneaky Nyx Assassins, with the Ancient Seal to be timed out, as well as the Mystic Flare and the Tool Kit.
Dire's
Centaur,
bottom tower
etc.,
is under
etc.
attack.
So gonna pause drop on this top tower, blink forward from Resolution. He's gonna hit a clap, good stomp on 2 from IX Mike. He's gonna try and get back here, and he should be able to do so. He is. Medallion is up for someone on this lineup. It is.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Oh, it was the
Dire's
Weave. So the
bottom
Weave
tower
was
is
popped
under
here. It is
attack.
leveled at level 7 for Solo.
Dire's bottom
Saw some
tower
minus
has
armor
fallen.
there on IX Mike, who rotates back to the base. They'll get 2 towers here, so this tower score is 4-1 for Empire here, and they're playing their lineup as it should be played, with this kind of composition here for their team. Mech is up, of course, on Silence Necrophos. He'll probably look to build into an Ags, but not 100% sure here what he'll do. He does have a Blink Dagger as well, so great initiation to jump in for that Death Pulse, as well as position himself well, and gather up the Aether Scythe if he has an opportunity to do so. Treads will come out for resolution here. He's got blink treads, so he you know, for 15 minutes he stalled out a bit, but he's at that critical game point that he needs to be. Sitting at 2-1-2 for his KDA. Ush doing extremely well still, sitting at the top of the network chart. A blink forward from resolution. He's lucky these are illusions there, but they will put their corrosive breath into the tower here and do quite a bit of work. And Ush is not scared.
Radiant
and he will jump
structures are
forward
fortified.
and look to find a last hit here, but it looks like the tower is going to be denied with a blink forward from Silent.
Radiant's top tower has been
So
denied.
denied towers going the way of either team. Score is 4-2 in towers for Empire here. So TP's bottom lane from Solo. Jump in. Primal split committed here. Ix might gonna stampede and blink out. So one time looked a little conservative with that primal split, which was a great decision, and another time looks a little aggressive with it. And they'll pick off Silent, so great target to find in the top lane, and the kill going the way of Fluff and stuff here. He'll pick up his urn off that, which is coming over on the courier. And good to get him back into the game. He's now above Solo in net worth, so pretty sweet for him. Ush doing well. He'll get harassed here a little bit by resolution. He'll just give him a glancing blow as he passes by. Ush was actually looking for the courier, but he ends up being a second too late there. So unfortunate for him. Would have been a really nice influx of gold for Nyx there, but they will find Solo out. Whitebeard and Ush will, and they should probably bring him down here, despite having a shallow grave. There was a TP in from Saneko here, but one last right click, and the bug will actually finish him off, and if not, the Geminate attack would have done so for Ush. So he does finish off Solo there, and that's a pretty big component of their team fight here. Blink forward from resolution, clap onto TC. He'll get drunk and ball it up, but he'll get a Dragon Tail into Silent here and lift the TC out. I think he could have stayed in that fight. Ush here. Time lapse used from Ush, but the mech up from Silent as well as the Death Pulse can keep him up. Dying in and put some pressure in. Mystic Flare down on Silent, and that'll be enough to clean him up while Whitebeard stays up. Ancient Seal out onto resolution, and the Arcane Bolt and the Shikuchi from Ush gonna finish him off, but he's got quite a few 4 stacks of the Quill Spray onto Ush here, and it looks like Mag will be able to back off. He's got some backup here from Saneko as well as Solo, but it looks like everyone's turning tail as Ix Mike does have his blink still. He'll be able to blink forward, just barely out of range for the Hoof Stomp here, but they'll be able to chase him down with Shikuchi. And in fact, they find Solo, who's probably an easier target here, as well as they don't want to see the Brave go out onto Mag. Dragon Tail onto Solo. He'll shallow grave himself, but go down momentarily to the right clicks of TC, as well as Fluff will actually be the one to bring him down. Ush will bring down Mag in the back lines, and Ix Mike will get out safe and sound. So a couple going the way of
Radiant's bottom tower
Nyx
is
there.
under
They
attack.
actually lose the Undying early on, but gain the Bristleback as well as Solo, as well as Resolution, as he was trying to keep up. So 3 for 1 there. Tombstone is popped. Blink forward from Silent. He'll get Dragon Tailed up and brought down. It's a little bit too aggressive from Silent here. And they're throwing away the mid game here, which is really their window to stay in this game. Breathe Fire goes out from TC onto Saneko. He can actually chase pretty deep here with the concussive shot. It is going to latch. He still has a Dragon Tail. Decay going to go out one right, then going to finish off Saneko here for TC.
Radiant's
and he'll
bottom
get a
tower
tower.
is
So
under attack.
huge trade going
Radiant's
the way of
bottom
Nyx.
tower
And
has
this
fallen.
game looks like it's well within their grasp at this point. It doesn't look like they certainly aren't behind, and Empire certainly, the clock is ticking for their lineup, as Brewmaster as well as Necrophos are going to continue to fall off as the game progresses. Certainly they haven't hit their peaks yet, so perhaps the 22-ish minute mark and even 25, 26 for Necrophos is where they will hit those, but with this BKB coming out for TC, Ush has his Lincolns plus 2,600 gold and a Midas, and it's looking really rough here for Empire. They have a lack of CC, only having really the Disruption as well as the Primal Splits toolkit and the Reaper Scythe. So that's about Boulder, Disruption, and Reaper Scythe are the only things that can bust Lincolns here, and they're really the only things us just worry about. He'll in fact go right into a Demon Edge, very cost efficient item in terms of raw attack damage here, and he's not worried about much. You're definitely going to build only the Lincolns in terms of defensive items and look to put some punishment into Empire's lineup here. So Ush looking really good here. As I was mentioning in the draft, Knicks were definitely able to create space and even find Ush a kill or two in the safe lane. So Ush able to totally free farm. He's got 141 last hits. He close tops the board here. Blink forward from Silent onto the Undying, and Saneko will be here with the Demonic Purge as well as the Soul Catcher. But Stampede will get Whitebeard. For safety, he'll throw in another Decay stack just to bring their health pools a little lower, but he'll have to back up here as there is no help nearby. So his Tombstone's still up for 6 seconds now, but won't do much as Empire backs off and looks to defend top lane. Jump in right on the TP, and the Mystic First Mags, great coordination from them. A little bit aggressive from Silent. He hasn't been playing particularly well on this Necrophos, and they'll find a few here. They'll just find the Necrophos. He does have buyback, but we'll see with the Dragon form up if they're looking to push here. Actually, DC is mid, so they do have that ultimate up, but probably not looking to push here. Ush just looking to stand in the front lines, knowing
Radiant's
that he
top
really
tower
can't
is
be
under
killed.
attack.
He can't on this Weaver. Ush cannot be locked down unless he is Ancient Sealed up and bursted quick. But for that to happen, Fluff would have to be on the other team. So Ush is going to do extremely well here. There's definitely no Orchid builders unless Necro decides to go into it. He also has a Lincolns that can only be popped by very situational spells, such as Reaper Scythe and the Boulder from Primal Split for Empire. So I feel like they're screwed at this point. I don't want to call anything too early, but Ush is way too fat on this Weaver, and they just don't have anything.
Radiant structures are fortified.
There's the Lincolns on the Drunken Brawler, so that's a nice thing that I haven't mentioned so far.
Radiant's
to pop
top
the
tower
Lincolns
has
from Ush.
fallen.
Really low cost spell. It's not something that they're worried about holding on to, so that can pop the Lincolns for them. But other than that, Ush is doing well. Blink forward, Dragon Tail onto Silent, Breathe fired. Nice defensive disruption from Saneko, but it'll only delay the inevitable. He mechs up as well as Death Pulses and looks to back off, but Ush probably going to be able to chase him down. They actually do weave him up here, and the Swarm does not hit, so Silent probably going to survive. Blink forward, oh nice. Dragon Tail into Breathe fire from TC, just having enough for this man to grab that up. And the GG's actually called, so Empire realizing what I realized, Silent's certainly not having the best game, and he's tilting into feeding quite a bit there in this game. So Silent certainly a player that likes to be on a little bit more impactful heroes such as the Clinks and even to some extent the Medusa that he played earlier this morning. So unfortunate for Empire. I feel like they lost this one at the draft screen, especially if they didn't shut down the Weaver for Ush. He's 6-0-5. I'm not really worried at all about that lineup from Empire, and really well played there from TC in the mid lane, as well as the IX Mike only feeding the 1 death over and 7 deaths total for Sneaky Nyx Assassin. So as I said, really good value bet there, 35%. Congratulations to you guys that won your rares there, and unfortunate for those of you that bet on Empire, but I cannot blame you for that. They're a very strong team in their own right. It's unfortunate that in some of these BO1s that the game is just really won at the draft screen. So well played to, I believe IX Mike is the one drafting, so well played to him at the draft screen. They did extremely well in the laning stage as well, and they mitigated any damage that they were supposed to take in this mid game. So ball lineup does not work in 6.82 for Empire, and they fall for the second time today. Firstly, falling to Team Secret, and now to the Sneaky Nyx Assassins. Well played by them. This is the Dota Pit tournament, and I am More Rich Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, casting with a new blue snowball mic. It's pretty awesome. Hopefully this sounded pretty good for you guys. I'm gonna have to fix my setup here and get a little better positioning for it, so it's a little far away from me right now, at about a foot away. But thanks again for joining me, guys. Really appreciate the support. Just gonna check out if there's any other games here. I don't believe so. I believe that Dota Pit is the BO1s here, But let me just give it a quick check for you guys. This is season 2, I believe. And yep. So we'll just take a look. Yeah, it's a round robin phase right now. So this was a Group B game. Empire was 0-0, as was SNA was actually 0-2. So they find their first win here. This is a BO2 actually, guys. So we will be back real soon for the next game. It seems that everything in this round robin phase is a BO2. So this will go into a single elimination bracket here, with the top 4 advancing from both sides. So we'll enter a quarterfinal based on this. You guys can check this out. I'll actually put a graphic up for you in between games, or at least at the end, that you can just take a quick look at. So be back soon for game 2, guys. Thanks for joining me once again. I am More Rage Please Dota. Follow me on Twitter at MRP_Dota, I should say. More Rage Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, and I'll catch you real soon for the next game. There's just a quick graphic for you guys. You can check out the cross table. You can see that SNA lost their first best of 2 series to NVMI, formerly known as NVMI Virtus Pro Polar there, and Empire. This is their first best of 2 series. So hopefully, for their sake, they can trade this up at 1-1, and we will have the game starting fairly soon, if I'm correct about that. So I'll be back real soon, guys, here, probably starting around 2 Eastern, if not sometime sooner. And you can just take a look at that. That's actually on Liquipedia, and it will be updated at the conclusion of this best of 2 here. So thanks again for joining me, guys. I'm More Rage Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. Welcome back, Dota 2 fans. I am More Rage Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. And getting a little feedback that my mic was a little bit quiet game 1, so moving positions here for you guys. Thank you for joining me once again. This is game 2 of the Dota Pit group stages in Group B versus Team Empire. Sneaky Nyx Assassins. SNA gonna take game 1, sitting at 35% odds on Dota 2 Lounge. So kudos to them. They played a really very smart strategical game. Didn't give up too much at any point in the game, and pretty much won at the draft screen. So kudos to IX Mike for that draft, especially with Ush on the Weaver. Really had a good time on that hero versus the disable lacking lineup of Empire here. Silent tilting a bit at the end of the game, did DC out after calling GG right away. And so hopefully he can compose himself and find his groove here in game 2. For those of you that have your rares on the 65% favorite, and for those of you that have your rares on the 35% underdog, the value bet is real, and you're hoping certainly for a win here, as is SNA, who went 0-2 in their first series to Virtus Pro Polar here. So a lot of people would consider Empire pretty much a higher skilled team than Virtus Pro Polar. Of course, they don't have their full lineup here with Always Wanna Fly not playing. As you can see, Saneko standing in for him. But regardless, certainly a strong team in their own right. Either way, so hopefully for SNA they can grab a 2-0 victory here. This is only the first best of 2 for Empire, so they can certainly afford to lose one, but obviously would not like to. Today saw their pretty much saw their star ladder hopes be crushed by Team Secret, who's pretty much crushing everyone, hopes or not, in that tournament. So well played to them. Brew going to be banned out first by Team Empire. They actually played it on Resolution last game, and it wasn't to great success, so they're going to ban it out. Don't want to see it. Void Skywrath going to be banned out 1-2 from Sneaky Nyx Assassins. Don't want to see any of that cheese strat. So we'll see where they go with the first couple picks. DP going to be banned out from Team Empire as well. Something they saw this morning and that they've banned in both games 1 and game 2. So Rays are going to be picked up from SNA here. Certainly going to be TC playing on this, if not Ush, but generally you'll see TC in the mid lanes. Rays are certainly a hero he's very comfortable on, makes good decisions with, so I like his builds as well. But pretty standard stuff coming out from TC. He's a very stable core player and has been for some time, and he's Canadian, so rep that. But we'll see the 1-2 come out from Empire here, guys. I am More Rage Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, and I'm always going to mention when a player is Canadian, unfortunately. Flame me about it. Hopefully the mic sounds better, guys. I'll try to check out as I can here and there, but we shall see what happens with that. Stream seems to be up and running pretty well right now. Batrider, first pick for Mag, presumably perhaps Resolution in the midline, but generally you'll see Mag on this hero. He's very good on this hero. Back in the days when Empire and Kai P were coming up, which Kai P has eventually developed to Cloud9, Bone 7 and Mag were pretty much the best Batriders in the world, if you ask me at that point. Of course, there are some Chinese offlaners who were great as well on it, but those two were just playmakers on both that and the Clockwork, signature heroes for both of them back in those days when I got all those free bets from people who didn't know who Kai P and Empire were. So that was back when Scandal was playing on Empire in the 1 position as opposed to Silent, and can't remember
10 seconds remaining.
who was in the mid lane at the current moment for them, but I believe it was Scandal in the mid lane, and maybe actually Silent still playing the 1. Yeah, Resolution was the recent replacement for Empire. He's a very bright young player and obviously very skilled as well. Naga Siren going to be picked up second for Team Empire, so we'll see if we see Silent running. He's probably raging about the first thing. He's like, give me something that can actually carry. None of this 1 position Necrophos, but hopefully we do see that in the 1. We can definitely see it as a support as well for Solo or Saneko here, but generally see the Naga as the 1. Naga, one of the carries that actually didn't see any nerfs here. Wasn't really touched in 6.82. So certainly the split push was nerfed in general just by the new mechanics of the towers, having more armor at the T2s as well as having the glyph after killing the T1s refresh. So Not 100% sure what they will run it, but generally you'll see
Radiant
a Naga
team
Siren
ban.
one position here or in the mid. Not sure if Resolution plays that often. I feel like with this lineup, Silent would be more likely to play it. Resolutions seems to be more on the playmakers as opposed to the farmers. He's not I don't want to say Arteezy is not a playmaker because he certainly is, but he tends to be on these farming heroes like the SF and the Naga and even things like the PA and of course the Tinker when he was more relevant. But I feel like Resolution is more suited towards the Puck, the Invoker, those kind of types who are making big plays and setting up for their team and snowballing through the mid game. So Venge going to be picked up here from SNA. A lot of bonus armor, or minus armor there, as well as the bonus damage and the buffs to the swap, increasing the range here at levels 1 and 2. At least level 1, I believe levels 1 and 2 in this patch. Very, very strong. Venge actually was the hero I picked in Star Ladder to be most picked, and I believe is still in the running to be so at this point. So Venge has been picked quite a bit. In this patch. Razor is also considered still very strong, so pretty strong lineup from the majority of people here from SNA.
Reserve time.
And we'll see what the response is. They'll ban out the Enigma, so banning out a very greedy support there for Empire. Certainly Batrider can take a solo lane, as well as the Naga Siren. Of course, they'll probably want the Naga to be babysat to some extent, depending how they lane with Empire. But they'll ban out the AA, so Ice Blast certainly good against the split push, as well as just setting up. The setups from the sleep may have Empire ball up onto a hero, and that would set up for an Ice Blast. So they'll take that support out. Also a very strong tri-lane support with the Chilling Touch, and to pair that up with a Vengeful Spirit is pretty damn scary. Even if Razor was in the safe lane with that Plasma Field, as well as the Magic Missile, and the Chilling Touch would be enough to bring down any hero. So they'll ban out the Visage as well on Team Empire, and the Gyrocopter will be banned out here from Sneaky Nyx Assassins. Once again, they actually banned it out in the first game as well, so not willing to play against that hero so much. Homing Missile does a lot of work, especially versus Razor, who wants to run at you with the Static Link before he's got his BKB up. So Gyro's a nice ban there. He's a team fight. He's a carry that is able to team fight early on with that low cooldown of Call Down, as well as the magical damage he has from Rocket Barrage, and of course the Flak Cannon to mow down most of whoever's in a pretty large radius, something like 11 or 1200. So Disruptor actually going to be picked up from Empire. Not something we see all too often here in this meta or at all, but Static Storm certainly awesome ultimate. Razor and Vengeful Spirit are heroes that want to jump into the fight, so Glimpse is a good tool to use to stifle that notion or that motion. And Silence are going to be picked up from SNA here, so looks like this will be an Ush Silencer, but it could be support. And not a huge fan of the support Silencer, but running a core Silencer into a Naga Siren pretty much forces you to end early, and Razor and Venge are certainly capable of ending early with the ability to Roche early on, as well as strong as Razor is in the mid game and as good of a mech carrier as he is. So possible there. With an Aghanims, the Silencer does deal decently well with illusions, at least in team fights. Not so much in the split push, but Silence Clink's going to be picked up here for Team Empire. So perhaps Resolution runs the Naga in mid, or we have a Naga support here, or Resolution runs the Clinks and Silent runs the Naga. So we'll see how they choose to lane this here. Not sure if Clinks is a great pick into a Silencer. I feel like he, with the last word, if they can get detection, they nuke him down pretty well. But Shadow Walk, regardless, pretty damn good in terms of the move speed it gives you, help you to get away. Pretty much max move speed, 11, 12, 20. So it scales by 11% per level, and generally is skilled up at least till level 3. in the early to mid games. So, of course, taking a second seat to Searing Arrows, which is very strong now. If you guys didn't know, the change to that is it is no longer a unique modifier, so it does stack with things like Desolator, Scotty, etc., etc. So that's pretty awesome for the Clinks. Centaur going to be picked up again for IX Mike from SNA here. So again, pretty aggressive lineup from them. We've got the Venge swap in. We've got the Razor, who's a very potent frontliner, a very proficient frontliner with the unstable concurrent, as well as being a mech holder and the static link to drain damage from the opposite team's carry. Static link does also persist through invisibility, so you've seen it be pretty effective against Weaver, but Clinks can get away from it pretty easily, and they do have the net from the Naga Siren to hold him in place as well. So we'll see how this works out for either team, but I feel like Disruptor is certainly a good pick versus Centaur. So a little odd that they picked that into Disruptor, but Centaur just generally a strong hero altogether. So regardless, something that IX Mike is certainly comfortable with, and as is the entire lineup of Nick. So we'll see a Wraith King ban here from Empire as the 5th ban, and a Puck ban. So Resolution Hero ban here from SNA. So they are expecting a Naga Siren support here, as am I, as Silent is really good on this Clinks and he enjoys playing it, and I'm not sure that Resolution plays much Naga in the mid, as I mentioned early on in the draft, as well as you'll probably have Razor dominate her in lane. Despite bottle crowing or getting runes and being able to last hit, she'll be zoned out pretty often. So
reserve time.
Wraith King ban out is another smart ban here from Team Empire, much like the Mirana ban from SNA last game. Can definitely be a support or a core in the 5th pick for SNA here. So they ban a hero that is good at being both, as well as good at holding their lineup down. Can jump in and slow up the Bat Rider, as well as whoever else is in range. Slow on a massive slow on a Clinks like that is certainly enough from the reincarnation to bring down someone as squishy as the Clinks is. So a lot of their toolkit is definitely able to bring down the Clinks. So Silent's gonna have to play super safe here. If he gets initiated on with a swap, a magic missile, a hoof stomp, either of those, he's going to go down for sure, even with his death packed up. So we'll see what the 5th pick is here to round out the Empire lineup. I do believe they're looking for a Resolution hero. Perhaps they go with the Invoker here, but with the Silencer, that would take a lot of their team damage or team fight damage away. Yeah. I don't know about this Invoker. I know it's just something that Resolution plays super well. 10 seconds left in reserve time, so no reserve time left for SNA. So this pick's going to come out soon. We'll see what Empire ends up going with here. And they picked the Mirana, so Resolution could even run the Naga here mid, but I'll expect this Mirana to either be run in the safe lane and have Silent run in the mid. Silent will probably play the Clinks regardless, but I could see him run the mid lane and them switch up Resolution to the safe lane here. I like this Mirana pick. It couples well with the net, as well as the glimpse, as well as the lasso, and it gives them the Moonlight Shadow to gank as a team and set up the Naga Siren sleep into an unsuspecting SNA lineup. So we'll see. Dragon Knight is actually picked up once again for TC here, so this will be a support silencer. Not something I'm a huge fan of. Ush will go into the safe lane with the Razor because of this Dragon Knight pick. IX Mike again into the off lane. Whitebeard will pick up the silencer, and that will leave Fluff on Vengeful Spirit. Of course, TC on his signature Dragon Knight. Yep, this will be a support Naga Siren for solo, and we'll see what happens with the Clinks and Mirana. Of course, Mag definitely going to be the one to pick up this Bat Rider, as he is pretty freaking good on it, and it is really the only capable offlaner for this lineup. Of course, Mirana is a capable offlaner with the Leap Escape, but I just don't feel like that's as strong as it once was, and especially into a Vengeful Spirit silencer.
10 seconds
Razor,
remaining.
she will not be having a good time there, especially not as much as the Bat Rider would. So
Silent
remaining. Will pick up the Clinks, and we'll see if he goes towards the mid lane. We'll see which way he builds here.
Prepare for
Looks like
battle.
Resolution will go mid. with this Marana, starting off with a Wraith Pen and 2 Tangos, and Silent will go over to the safe lane with his 2 loyal supports, Solo on the Naga Siren, Soneko on the Disruptor, and rounding out the lineup for Empire is Mag on his signature Batrider in the offlane. He'll get boots first and run down to ward up quick, and will be successful in doing so. On the side of Sneaky Nick's Assassins, we have Whitebeard on the support silencer, looking pretty buff here. I like the hidden talent set the best for him, but anyways, Ush on the 1 position Razor, and in the mid we have TC once again on his signature Dragon Knight with Fluff and Stuff, and IX Mike setting up a dual lane at the current moment in the off lane, but it looks like Fluff gonna rotate down to the safe lane, and IX Mike on his Centaur War Runner in the off lane. So this is game 2 of a best of 2 series in Group B of the Dota Pit tournament here, guys. If you haven't already, go up and purchase your ticket. The bundle on the Dota store, it's $10. It comes with a beautiful the Blackpool set for the Lich. Probably better looking than any Lich set there is out there right now.
Begins.
So a really nice little trinket to come with the ticket here, and see some great Dota. Thanks for joining me once again, guys. I am Rage, please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, and this is Dota Pit in group stages here. So game 2, game 1, of course, taken by Sneaky Nick's Assassins here, so they'll look to close this out, and Empire will look to save your rares for the 65% of you that bet on Empire in this matchup. They lost a match earlier this morning to Secret, and saw their Star Ladder hopes fade away. So hopefully they'll have some better luck in this tournament here. Aggression on the bot lane already into Mag, but they don't have enough lockdown with only the magic missile to bring him down, and not enough damage there sapped from Ush. He has no nuke at level 1, so perhaps something he may have should have considered there was Plasma Field level 1, especially versus a solo Batrider. But generally, you do see the static link leveled up first. Looks like Soneko going to pick off this Courier here if we're not too careful from the side of Sneaky Nick's Assassins, and they aren't. He's going to see it now. Will they be able to rotate it out in time? No, they won't, and that's a bottle
Radiant's
gone for
killed.
TC here. So excellent play from Empire. Going to secure pretty much what is a lane win at this point for Resolution, having the ranged advantage as well as having no bottle on this Dragon Knight here to spam out Breathe Fires on the waves. So Silent doing well in this top lane. He's already topping the CS board at 8-1. Ush not far behind at 7-1, and he'll have a wave come underneath his tower as some pulling is going on here from Fluff and Stuff as well as Whitebeard. Mag's gonna rotate down towards the rune here as IX Mike did in game 1 and look to find that, and Soneko's gonna cover the rune in the top lane,
Radiant's
or in the
top
off
tower
lane
is under
for
attack.
Empire. A little bit of harass from Whitebeard with the last word coming out towards Mag. He's joined by Fluff here, and Fluff will pick up the bounty rune, and we'll have Soneko protect the double damage rune here for Resolution, who will grab it. There is no wave coming in, so it's fine for him to rotate out of the lane to grab that, even though his bottle is back home in the stash, just because he doesn't miss any experience for this. I was going to say, if he did, and there was a wave there, that it would be pretty pointless to take that DD, but he'll look to put some harass into TC, and certainly will ensure a bunch of last hits with this DD rune. Soneko doesn't have anything leveled up yet, so perhaps he'll see it fit to use that glimpse at some point. Mag gonna get stomped up, unfortunately, by the Centaur here, and he'll catch a magic missile as well as a wave terror and a few right clicks into the face, and that'll have to back him up here, and he won't be able to he will be able to finish off these creeps, so that'll grab him some experience there. As I said in the graph, very capable player on this Batrider Mag is. So they'll put some pressure into the top tower. It looks like Solo as well as Soneko and Silent with the Searing Arrows. Doesn't have too much mana at this point, so not gonna just auto cast them, especially into the glyph. IX Mike is postured up here with a 1-1-1 build, so if he gets TP rotations in, he may be able to contest this. Fluff is rotating upwards, popped a Clarity, so has his stun available. But it doesn't look like they'll be able to contest this anytime soon, and half the damage from their T1 in the offlane will go down. Resolution doing really well in the mid's gonna land an arrow here, as well as 2 hits on the Starfall and pick up first blood in the mid. So losing that bottle for TC really detrimental to him, and he was actually crowing it towards him at that moment, but just too little too late for him. IX Mike will find a little bit of farm here, double edging up the hard camp as well as a few units there. But he'll get glimpse back from Seneko, and Kinetic Field will not latch on him, but that will push him back towards
Radiant's
Silent
top
here.
tower
And
is
the
under
arrow gonna land once again. Resolution 2 for 2. Shoot arrow, hit arrow, especially from the low ground. Very nicely played. And Searing Arrow is not even necessary for that kill at the end there with that long stun from Resolution. But nonetheless, kill picked up there. Actually just for the dire side, so that's unfortunate for Silent there that he didn't get that last hit. But Mag doing Mag things and trying to pick up these creeps here. Last hit will be taken by him there, and Whitebeard will steal that one, but he will still sap some
Radiant's
experience.
top tower
So
is under attack.
tower gonna go down here momentarily in the top lane, as there are no TPs except for Whitebeard here from SNA. So Empire looking good in the early game, guys. Looking like they're wanting to save your rares for you here. Breathe Fire is down for TC, so a couple of these creeps will get denied up from Resolution. Resolution sitting at 2013 to the 17 and 2 of TC. So despite losing that bottle, he's still doing pretty well, only giving up the 1 death, almost sitting at level 6. Resolution is well into level 6 at this point. So IX Mike sitting at almost level 5. We've got Mag sitting at only level 3, almost 4 here, and he's gonna get aggressed on. He'll Firefly right away and take the magic missile to the face as well as the last word, but he'll be fine, and he'll actually start to chase here with Resolution coming in. Will the arrow fly? No, it just looks like she's gonna haste towards Fluff with the Starfall here. And yep, gonna find Fluff out. Starfall gonna hit him twice, and 1 right click. Well played from Resolution. Gonna leap away as Whitebeard and Ush have no lockdown for him. So well played. Nice rotation from Resolution. That's going to ding him 7. He's got Aquila as well as boots, and his phase boots are on the way on the courier. So take a look at net worth. He's sitting right below Silent, who's had pure free farm and was involved in the 1 kill on the center. Arrow going to fly mid. TC going to be privy to that and dodge that. So nothing there, but nice lane ward planted down here just recently, I'm guessing from Seneko on that disruptor, as he just rotated into the mid lane while the kill was going on bot. So a lot of information going to be going the way of Empire here by virtue of that ward. As you can see, they can see all throughout this mid lane, and right now they're seeing IX Mike rotate in. So Resolution going to be super careful here. There's of course no blink on IX Mike. He's been shut down pretty heavily, only sitting on Tranquil Boots at almost 7 minutes in, and he doesn't have Stampede, so not sure how they expect to go here. Perhaps Dragon Form into Dragon Tail, and TC does look for it, and Resolution was certainly expecting it. Good reaction time by him, and they're not going to get much off this rotation towards mid lane, but this will help out Mag, who's in the jungle trying to recover. He has one single large stack camp here, and we'll ding probably around level 5 off this, if not level 5. Yeah, well, definitely with the 2 camps here. So he'll recover in the jungle a bit and look to find his blink dagger at a reasonable timing with that. Take a look at Silent in this top lane. He's building into Soul Ring and has just about enough for the recipe at this point, but there's no courier in base for him to pick it up. So Eternal Envy style gonna grab that Soul Ring and probably look to follow it up with an Orchid here. So early game once again looks good for Empire. Take a look at the graphs. They're ahead 4,000 net worth and just 1,500 experience. So not too much in the way of experience. IX Mike does find his level 6 here. Mag still sitting at level 5. All the supports pretty much at level 4 except for Fluff on the bench, who is at level 3 currently. So Soul Ring comes out for Silent, so he'll be able to get free death packs as well as Shadow Walks off if need be, and Skeleton Walk I should say. And rotations in the mid lane. Arrow from Resolution is going to land on TC. Jump down, Starfall, Thunderclap, Riptide, and that's the death of the Dragon Knight. So unfortunate easy shot there for Resolution. I think he's 3 of 4 now, only missing the one arrow that fished in the mid lane. That was not detrimental at all to his team. Ush putting some pressure into this tower bottom, but he won't be able to bring this down by himself. In fact, Seneko can glimpse him back when he bees if there are TP rotations in. Initiation mid here, Stampede onto Solo as well as the Hoofstomp. Moonlight Shadow will not be there quick enough, and Fluff will pick up the kill with that last right click onto Solo in the mid lane. So nice TPs from them, but Ush gets backed off from the tower here in the top lane. And perhaps Mag looks to find something here. He's got 1700 gold, so perhaps he just looks to get his blink. Thought he might TP bottom. With the glimpse, they'd be able to lasso back Ush, but they probably don't have enough follow-up damage without a Resolution. Does have a TP here, though. She is building into the drums, it seems, the Mirana. Silent picks off the T2 in the top lane and already has 1400 gold, and that is the blink for Mag. So awesome timing window here. Arcane Boots up on Seneko on the Disruptor, Soul Ring up on Clinks. Of course, we've seen the Mirana, and the blink comes out now for Mag, so that's going to be really helpful to them. Of course, IX Mike being shut down as he was. 0-2 on the Centaur is nowhere near his blink. He is at level 7, so he's got his levels as he needs them to be, but he does not have his farm. So Dust going to be popped here from Fluff and Stuff. Silent was lucky to be behind the trees there, and as he sees that get popped, he will back out promptly thereafter. So well played by him to be positioned in such a manner. Resolution gonna ding 9 here shortly. Solo getting some free solo XP in the mid lane. Will come out with the net, blink in, lasso on TC. Actually, arrow is gonna whiff, so a little bit of a misplay or miscommunication there from Ember, but Static Storm Kinetic Field gonna go down and ensure the kill on TC and ensure that he does not get his Dragon Tail or Dragon Form off to tank him up. Silent in the back lines. Nope, just looking at for the tower here. Heard the Searing Arrows there, and he will pick up the last hit, and that's 2300 gold, and he's well on his way to his Orchid. But Ush all the while been free farming. He's sitting at 3rd on net worth, but really should probably have gotten involved in at least one of these engagements. He does pick up a tower there, and is sitting on 1000 gold plus his Midas, Treads, and Aquila. So probably the one saving grace so far for Ush, but not sure if they want to take this too late. They do have the Silencer to transition, so they do essentially have 4 cores in the late game, but the Naga Siren is also on the side of Empire, and he will eventually transition. Arrow, Starfall, Thunderclap out onto Ush, and Resolution and Seneko will finish him off. Resolution playing out of his mind here on this Mirana, 5-0-1, and as I had mentioned in the draft, didn't expect to see him playing Naga mid, just because Resolution is one of these players that will play a very high impact hero, heroes with very high skill cap. He'll send out an arrow mid, and they'll even use the Naga sleep to deny this tower here. So perhaps Solo a little bit safe there, using up that long 175 second cooldown at level 1, but nonetheless they secure the deny and take some much needed gold away from SNA here. There's no vision for them except for this dust on Fluff, so they weren't aware that Silent was right in front of them, and Fluff was not gonna just pop a smoke in hopes that they would find someone. Midas used here, 1100 gold, 1 Oblivion Staff up on the Clinks here, so he's not too far off his Orchid, probably another 1000 gold or so, about 1200 or so. So IX Mike sitting at 1900 gold, so he will have a 14 or so minute blink dagger, which is not terrible for the start he had. Mag already using that blink dagger in the mid lane to kill off TC, and he's got his lasso up once again, so we'll look if him and Silent look to find a pick off here. He did just pick up a smoke off the courier, so it looks like that is the next objective. IX Mike in the mid looking for his blink. This would be a great time to pick him off, and you will see a smoke from Mag as well as Seneko. And we'll see if they can find someone with this rotation. They'll go through the jungle. On the high ground sits TC. He just grabbed something off the courier, which probably was his treads or maybe just a TP. bottle actually sent back to the fountain. So
Dire's middle
nice
tower is
aggressive
under
observer wards here placed
Radiant's
by
bottom tower
Empire,
is under
and
attack.
they'll be able to take this tower with ease, and also have quite a lot of
Radiant's
information
bottom
about the
tower
movements
has fallen.
of Sneaky Nick's assassins here. Silent playing up on his clinks with 2,000 gold in the bank, well on his way towards his orchid, and not far off it now. With this last use of Midas here, whenever he finds it, he'll probably have just about enough for the orchid. Yep. So he's got his Oblivion Staff. He'll use up this Midas here, and that'll be enough for his orchid right there. So he'll bring that over a little too quickly. Actually, the urn was coming out here for Seneko, and took the courier back. Jump in from Mag is imminent, and Glimpse actually happens first, so a little bit of a miscommunication there from those two, but nonetheless ends up in a kill going the way of Seneko with the tick out from the Static Storm. Stampede up top, a Magic Missile onto Solo, so they'll find a Naga Siren in exchange for their core push, a Razor, which is certainly not worth it, and they'll probably look to defend this T2 here. We'll look at the amount of TPs. Everyone has a TP except Fluff and stuff, so actually they can only TP back 3 to this lane, and we'll probably just sack the T2 here for a T1 in the top lane. They will glyph it, delay it out, but the glyph exists for Empire as well, and perhaps they could even look to defend or even continue pushing if they glyph that tier 1 top, and they will glyph it, of course, because it's free and mass TP in right there. After Solo will jump in with a sleep, and this looks really bad. Deny comes out there, Dragon Tail onto Mag, TP's out from both Whitebeard and TC, so well played by them. This was cancelled with a Glimpse, yep, Glimpse used from Seneko, so they get the priority target there. IX Mike will walk out in the backlines and finally pick up his Blink at 15.5 minutes, so well played there from Empire. They get a tower bottom, they deny their tower top, and they get a kill on the core Dragon Knight, who is the second highest net worth on Sneaky Nick's Assassins and the 5th overall in the game. So really dominant performance here so far, and it looks like with the newly found Orchid of Silent, he'll find Ush once again, and yep, will be enough. He'll probably trade his own life for this, as Skeleton Walk is down, so they will find him there, and he's worth quite a bit at this point. Yep, let's see the fight recaps. A lot of experience. The one thing about these bounty nerfs is that they didn't nerf much of the experience here, so you see 1100 experience going the way of both IX Mike and Fluff, so they both got well over a level's worth from killing Clinks there, but not sure that it will be enough for them, especially being on those two heroes specifically. So level 2 Stampede doesn't do a hell of a lot more than level 1. I think it's just a longer duration and maybe some more damage if I'm correct. Yeah, so some more damage and actually the exact same duration on Stampede. So yeah, not extremely you know, it's not a tide turning ability there, but we'll take a look at the item progression for everyone on SNA and see if anything else was picked up here. Venge still sitting on Tranquils, only treads for Whitebeard, and this is what I'm talking about when I talk about the non-Corsons are being super underwhelming. Only an Ogre Club, as well as a Bracer, Treads, Bottle, and full Magic Stick on TC, so he's not even close to his BKB here. Still looking at about 2,475 gold away here. So Solo has Treads, Bracer on this 5-position Naga Siren sitting at level 8. Seneko sitting at level 9 with Arc Boots and an Urn, as well as 1,000 gold. So we'll see if he looks to build into the Ags after. Probably a really good choice into the Dragon Knight as well as the Razor. So Force Staff coming out pretty soon here. For Mag, he's 250 gold until that, and doing really well on the Mirana is Resolution, sitting at 5, 0, and 3, with Drums, Phase, Aquila, full Magic Wand, Boots, and probably something coming over on the Courier. Yep, I would have thought she had a little more than that, and that's a Maelstrom coming over, sitting at 9,000 net worth. Of course, we saw Silent drop in the bot lane, and He does have his Orchid up though, and 1300 gold, so he can even buy the Broadsword into Crystalist if that's what he chooses to go. Of course, now you can build into a unique attack modifier item like Scotty or Desolator, as opposed to the general build, which was usually Daedalus or MKB for this Clinks with the buffs to Searing Arrows here. So hopefully we get these issues rectified pretty soon, guys. IX might experience some lag. I'm not sure that getting his ping fixed will help them in this game, though they're already down 10,000 net worth lead and 7,500 roughly gold lead at 16 minutes in. So that's pretty dismal outlook for them on this game. This is, of course, the Dota Pit Best of 2 Group B group stages between Sneaky Nyx Assassins and Empire. Sneaky Nyx Assassins took game 1, so if you're hoping for your rares to be saved, yeah, things are looking pretty good for you in game 2 here for Empire. Resolution on a playmaking hero, like Brewmaster certainly is a playmaking hero, but he just wasn't able to do much last game. Didn't have much follow-up. Used his Primal Split in bot lane one time pretty errantly. Saved it one other time, which was nice to get them a kill on the Undying. But yeah. Wasn't a super. He wasn't just flashy on resolution as he is on Mirana at this point, and doing pretty damn well in the game too, as well as Silent on one of his most comfortable heroes, if not his most comfortable hero, the Clinks, the Bone Fletcher. So things looking a lot better for Empire. I guess they don't get trolly with their drafts, or creative I should say, and pick up the Necrophos core with a sustained draft like that with the Bristleback on Mag. They put Mag on the Bat Rider, so very, very comfortable looking draft here for Empire. And perhaps the one unorthodox thing they did was pick up the Naga early to give the impression that it was a core and then run it as a support. It seems by the third pick phase, or by the fourth pick, SNA did know that this Naga was a support, but perhaps they picked early on, presuming it was a core. They did ban out Puck as their last ban, which is a resolution hero mid. So good ban from them. I think resolution probably would have done equally well on the Puck, but the Mirana mid, very reminiscent of Sing Sing, only missing one arrow so far that I can count, and every arrow that he has hit has turned into a kill. So Whitebeard's reconnecting here. Hopefully we'll get the rest of Nyx to reconnect and rectify these lag issues, and if not, you'll probably see a GG called the way of Sneaky Nyx. Yeah, so resume here, unpause, so that's great. Admins are confirming it, but they are missing Ush here, so I want to say Ush because his last name's Usher, so I'm guessing that that's what he intended it, but Ush just sounds better to me. So Midas point booster on Ush here. He's the one hero we haven't talked about as he was dead there. So working towards his Aghanims before BKB. Probably not a bad decision against the Clinks, but as well as the Bat Rider, whose lasso goes through BKB. But he's probably going to be focused really well, really heavily here from Empire, and with TC being shut down the way he is, not even close to his BKB or anything beyond very early game items, he is really the source of their damage. Ush is on this Razor, so unfortunate for SNA. They're in a pretty poor position. The graphs tell the story. The experience is plateauing out, so everyone farming the map pretty evenly. As you can see, the vision is pretty much relegated to both halves of the map at this point. There is a little bit of aggressive vision from Empire here, but other than that, everyone pretty content to sit back and farm at this point. And Empire definitely benefits from this, just because they've got that extra tier of items up. But you could argue that Nyx benefits as well, just because they don't even have that second tier item, and getting that would really help them in the team fight, whereas Empire can certainly push their advantage now and not be too worried. If Silent is able to get a BKB up, not sure if that's what he's building into, but they do have a smoke rotation here, so obviously Empire looking to find something with their advantage. Baiting out Solo in the mid lane and also getting him some farm to try and transition. They won't find anyone in the bot lane, but the Resolution will do some pushing out of the wave. And yeah, they're not going to scout out anyone top as their smoke rotations are happening simultaneously in the enemy jungles here. So there will be rotations towards the mid from Empire. Do see Silent farming it up here. He will build either a BKB or a Deso at this point. Could be a Maelstrom, but probably the least likely of the three. And if he does get this BKB, he can pretty much stand in the front lines and kill everyone, I feel, without being hit by that Dragon Tail or any other disable Hoof Stomp, Magic Missile. Silent's going to do a lot of work here, but they're going to find a free Roche, and it doesn't look like Nyx will even trade for the T2 in the top lane because they're posturing up looking for someone to defend, and that'll probably tip them off to the fact that they're in the Roche pit, but it'll be a little too late. Scouting arrow goes out from Resolution, but we can't count that one as a miss. So Silent gonna pick up the Aegis here, so even pre-BKB they can definitely go YOLO mode and take them into high ground here because of their advantage and because of the fact that Silent will have 2 lives here, so perhaps he saves his strafe in the first go, and they look to take out the Nyx in the top lane. Nice ward, timely ward going to be planted here. He's going to scout out Resolution as well as Seneko rotating up. Jump in, Hoof Stomp, Silence used, as well as the Stampede, Double Edge, Magic Missile, and the Breathe Fire. Going to finish off Resolution. Very high priority target here, second on the net worth. So nice pick off here from SNA, but they wait a little too long in that top lane in order to get it. But definitely a good experience bounty going their way. And actually Ush was picked off in the meantime by Silent and Mag, use of the lasso both simultaneously. So still a win for Empire there, as Mirana was certainly worth a lot, but Ush being down and being the top of their net worth, as well as feeding Silent, it will be a BKB for Silent, is pretty terrible for SNA here. So they're going to have a hard time recovering in this game. TC is already so far behind that gathering the kill on that Mirana will bring him close to his BKB, and he will have that up in 375 gold, but I just don't feel Empire is very worried about him at this point. And in fact, when he does pop BKB, since he's the only BKB holder, they can isolate him with Song of the Siren and take him out very quickly, especially with the Searing Arrows going through magical immunity. And so not sure that this BKB is really the tide turner for Nyx Assassin. Silent 400 or so, 370 away from his BKB here. He'll rotate backwards perhaps towards the Ancients, or back into the jungle to use his Midas, and he does certainly now have enough gold for his BKB. He'll pick it up, courier it over, and there is 3 minutes about just under left on this Aegis for Silent, so perhaps they look for this as their window to push high ground here. Any new items coming out? There was the BKB out for TC here, as well as a Blink Frag Smite, which is a while ago, but his Force Staff is on the way and in the stash actually, and BKB coming out for Ush as well actually. So he was going to go towards the Aghanims and he'll opt to go for the BKB here. So with 2 BKB carriers, there is a slight worry for Empire here, in the sense that they can't just lasso the BKB carrier or sleep him into isolation. But with Silent having a BKB and Resolution building into one as well, about 1300 gold away from that, I don't think Empire is too worried, and that it's almost as if SNA is itemizing as if they're ahead with these BKBs, and whereas I would almost much rather the Aghanim Scepter and AC for the Razor and DK respectively, because you gotta take risks at this point. You've got to look to hit the home run, and you've got to look to bolster your team fight here, as opposed to building defensively when they're already so ahead. So you almost want to build defensive early on to allow you to get to a point where you can start building offensive, but it's far beyond that early on point, I believe. So as you can see, free tower taken from mid. With this Aegis up on silent, they're not willing to even look to fight here or even look to stall a push. They're looking to kind of pick someone off in the top lane. If you can look at the vision here from the Dire, they can't see anyone, and there is this lane ward. So Resolution may get picked off again. Leap is on cooldown, unfortunately for him, but they're going to have to use the Stampede to get in range of Resolution. Silence going to be used mid here. A blink in lasso on Ush. The Orchid as well as the Searing Arrows will be enough damage to bring him down. First BKB charge pop for Silent, but well worth it. They actually do find Resolution in the top, so once again that exact trade happens. A Resolution for Ush, and the TP back from Seneko is actually cancelled. They're going to look to trade here. TPs are there for TC, Fluff, as well as IX Mike, so they will be able to TP back as Ush respawns here, but they're going to put a lot of damage into this T3 in the meantime, and there is no glyph, so they'll take this one for free. Death Pack goes out for Silent here. He'll even strafe to finish it off and put some damage into the range racks. We'll see if there's a blink initiation here. Nice glimpse from Seneko there, but blink jump, hoof stomp, but the static storm cover fire for Silent here. And even the Song of the Siren is popped from the backside from Solo, but a TP in from Ush, and he will be able to static link him up, plasma field him, and actually Solo will be able to get away. So nice force staff there from Mag coming in from the side on the Batrider if I can find him. You use that force staff there to get Solo away, and with no disables or support behind Ush, he couldn't chase that down. So still a good trade for Empire. They end up getting 2 towers, a T2 and a T3 for a T2 in the top lane, and end up trading Ush for Resolution once again. But TC is now starting to catch up. He's got 2200 gold, so perhaps he builds into that AC I spoke of earlier, or maybe a Maelstrom at this point. Also a good item to couple with his splash to help him farm and also help him do a little more damage in team fights. But the AC a little better versus the BKBs of both Silent and Resolution, which is now in the stash. So Resolution's mid game has really fallen off a little bit, but he's still sitting well within range of second place, and will actually miss his first significant miss of the game here. And we'll look to man up on Ush there, but the Stampede and the Force Staff will be able to grab a Hoof Stomp on him, and the Plasma Field will pick him off. Silent will come in the backlines with his BKB popped and finish off the 2 supports, it seems. No, he's going to go down. No, he's going to back off. Kinetic Field as well as Static Storm going to stifle the aggression here from IX Mike, and Silent will make it out in time, but really aggressive play there from him. He does end up getting a kill. Sapped a lot of his damage. Ush did. But a little bit of Yoda there for you guys. He will Death Pact and go right back into the lane and find some farm here with 1600 gold. He does have the Crystallis, so he's played this hero so often, and he's so used to going one build that he doesn't even realize he can go Desolator. But unfortunate for Silent, I feel like there's a little bit better item builds at this point with the new additions to Clink. Jump in Hoof Stomp is going to land on Silent, but he'll get off the Shadow Walk in time, and he'll actually pop his Invis to Orchid and feed his life over. No, nice jump in lasso from Mag. Good swap from Fluff and Stuff defensively. But Mag saves Silent's life after a big misplay there by him. Glimpse away from IX Mike from Seneko, but he'll get brought down with a Breathe Fire there. So they end up losing Seneko instead of Silent, so well worth the lasso there and Seneko's life. However, none of that was really necessary if Silent didn't pop his skeleton walk there. So a little bit of a misplay from Silent, but perhaps he thought that there was detection anyways, and that he should at least Orchid up the Venge, which is not, not a totally far-fetched thought. You can definitely understand where he's coming from with that. At this point in the game versus a Clinks, you should probably have detection. So he will Orchid up Fluff and Stuff. Stampede will try to get him away, but Orchid damage Mag gonna finish him off. Arrow's gonna go out, and it's not gonna find TC, who was TPing back home. smartly enough. Roach is up in 30 seconds or so, it seems. So, yep, actually up right now. Yeah, I was looking at the minute ticker instead of the actual line. So Roche is again up. Empire are going to be aware of this real soon. They've got Solo farming up. Let's see his item progression. He has a Manta style now on this 4 position Naga Siren, as well as 1500 gold. So he's going to start farming pretty damn well with these illusions. And they're going to scout Roche out here. Scandal's going to find another kill. And 2 kills, actually. Double kill on the silencer, as well as IX Mike Centaur. So he'll make great use of that 3rd BKB charge there, and they'll probably find a Roche off this as well. He's got 3,000 gold. He'll go buy his Demon Edge fairly soon, and after the Roche, actually, he should be able to finish off Daedalus with a DD. This Roche is going to drop real fast. Someone tank it up for the damn guy, please. Daedalus comes out for Silent, and Aegis as well. He'll probably drop his Soul Ring here, as he does. And probably should have, yep, he's going to pick that up with the Courier. And he's got a GG rune, so looking to be GG here. Resolution will fish for an arrow as his teammates join him here. And the arrow will not land, TC being able to dodge it at the last moment there. So Mag is smoked up. He's got his Blink Force and almost got his BKB, so might even be okay if Empire waits just for that last item there. I mean, they're not going to catch up much in the time that he finds a BKB, but see, and that's perhaps why he gets Dragon-tailed as he jumps in, as well as silenced, and he will be able to force staff down to the low ground, but his initiation doesn't do much. On the backside, Silent cleaning up face, manning up into the entire team without even popping BKB. Actually did pop BKB, it was just fairly short there. I figured he may not have because of the Aegis, but they'll bring 3 down, including the Whitebeard and Ush, brought down by Silent, as well as finishing off Fluff there at the end, and they'll get a Rax, and GG is called from Nick. So they'll draw up here, and sorry for you, those of you that were hoping for SNA, and congratulations to those of you that were crying after the first game about your Arcanas. Empire does save you and validate your faith in them. So GG, well played to both teams. Thank you so much to the organizers of the Dota Pit tournament, guys. Go and grab your ticket up on the Dota 2 store. It comes with the Blackpool set for the Lich King and is pretty damn awesome. So thank you again for joining me, guys. This was the best of 2 in the Group B group stages for Dota Pit. I am your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. More rage, please. And that is how we do it in the north. So thank you again for joining me, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Throw me a follow on Twitch. Follow me at MRP_Dota on Twitter. And I may not be able to cast the 3rd Star Ladder game today. It's going to be VP Polar NVMI versus Secret. And that'll be casted by BTS, if not me. But if so, I'll be back in a couple hours to cast that. Otherwise, check it out on twitch.tv/Dota StarLadder _EN. Dota StarLadder, one word, _EN. So thanks again for joining me, guys. I am your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. More rage, please. Signing out.